like the jams are great, you know, and the ciphers are great. And I love competing against other people and just sharing with other people. But to me, it was like traveling with my best friends wherever we wanted in a packed little car with all of our stuff, and then having to bum around for a hotel room or a couch to stay on. Like,
so like we said in the beginning, you're in your office, you're at your studio. How did you transition into teaching, or even why did you transition into teaching breaking versus just being like, it's all about me and my crew?
We've always been taught, our crew has always been taught, each one teach one is like rule one, right? Like, is everything has to be handed down, because in our experience, nothing was handed down to us in Grand Rapids. We had to figure it out ourselves. Nobody braked, you know, nobody except for our crew. So we had to do our own research to find the history of the city, to find the history of the community, to learn how to do these moves, to learn how to communicate with other breakers. You know, like, nobody was there to even give us a guide, right? Or even a ladder to be like, hey, y'all, this is the way that it is. So that part to us has always been extremely important, right? To me personally, it's the most important, because we want this thing to live on. We want the legacy of what breaking is going to go so far beyond it. And if we have to be able to tell the story, and we have to be able to tell the story correctly, you know. And our crew's first mentor, his name is Coda. He used to be Jedi Glide. He was a part of Motion Disorders way back in the day, and then now he's crew called Weapons of Rhythm. He had opened a studio in Fort Wayne, Indiana, probably in, I want to say, in like 2007. So he was kind of the one that helped us bridge that gap a lot, because he took our crew under his wing and showed us like, hey, this is the route of the community. This is the cultural aspect. This is where it comes from, you know, like, and we learned so much from him. He passed it down to us just because he saw potential in us. And so that has always been obviously a recurring theme in hip hop, but like, it's just has spoken differently to us. And so for us, that became the number one thing, is to pass this down and to pass it down to the next generation. And so we've been doing that for a while. Like I said before, our crew used to tour. And so we created like this, like a performance and a workshop. So we would go and we would do our, like, it was like a 30-minute set, and then we would do like a 30-minute workshop, and we would bring it to different colleges and universities. So that kind of forced our hand to figure out how to teach, how to learn how to teach, because we're reaching students that had never tried breaking before. We can't expect them to be like, all right, awesome breakers, right? So we had to like re-break our own mentality to figure out how to teach these basic moves so everybody could achieve it. Everybody could feel like they actually learned something, you know? And so that was that forced our hand to learn how to teach. And then we had like a long stint of shows that brought us to finances to be like, our crewmate Ray's, he was the one who opened up 616 Street Dance Academy originally.
Well, when someone mentions breakdancing or street dancing, you might think of scenes from New York, and we found video on YouTube, but you don't have to travel to the Big Apple to experience the hip-hop dance. Keegan Loy of 616 Technique Dance Studio is joining us to talk about street dancing and actually giving back to the community. First of all, let's talk about the kids behind us.
Yes.
And your studio. It's right here in Walker.
Yep, we're right on the corner of Alpine and 3 Mile. We're called 616 Technique Street Dance Academy, and we're one of 5 studios in the entire United States that only teach breakdancing.
And it brought him to saying like, hey, I think I have the funds at the end of this show. I think I want to put it down on a space. I think I want to create a home for the crew where we could teach. He had been teaching classes out of his basement already. I lived with him. So like, we were kind of diving into teaching students individually in small classes and stuff like that. And he had like maybe like 25 students, and he said like, I think I want to make this jump. And so he decided to make the jump over, and we took over the studio in 2010. We opened in 2010.
Wow. And that's crazy, man. 25 students out the basement.
Yeah,
That's
out the
good.
basement, man. Yeah, it
Right.
was. I mean, Ray's. He was the envisionary for a lot of the stuff, so he had a lot from myself. He kind of created the path. All I really did was kind of step through the opportunity, when he passed it down to me. So
And it's kind of dope too because he was able to, I'm assuming, develop like a dope curriculum before making the jump. So
yeah,
by the time he made the jump, it was like ABC 1 2 3 for him.
And what's cool too is it's a curriculum that he helped create based off of Coda's curriculum. So it's one that just kind of keeps going down from generation to generation, which is like, and a lot of people have noticed that within our students when they see our kids break is we have a big amount of students. So I have a student body count of about 100 kids that break here at 317.
Ooh.
And the thing that a lot of people notice is, man, your kids actually can all dance. Like I spend an exponential amount of time on the foundations of the dance and just being able to get your body to move in time with the music that you actually want to be able to move, because a lot of the kids, that's where they lose it, right? Is they can pick up on the move, but then to actually be able to connect it with the music takes so much time for them to understand how to get their actual mind and their body aligned like that. It's really unique, so we spend a lot of time focusing on that. And that's one of the things that I'm most like proud about is when a lot of people come and they see our kids, they're like, man, your kids can actually like dance. I'm like, yeah, man, I love seeing kids being able to do all them, but bro, you show me a kid rocking to the beat, bro, like it just, and snapping those on cue, its moves are clean, right up, like there's no feeling. I can feel that. I catch that, even through sometimes your phone or your computer or whatever. It's just a different feel. And that's what I want for my students to be able to like feel like that.
Right. And that's dope that you are cultivating 100 new breakers that'll be into the Midwest scene at large.
It's bananas, man.
And I remember, if I remember correctly, a quick conversation that you guys were having in Detroit. You said there's a couple of them that are ready. They might be ready to go in and branch off and get it in, huh?
Kind of tailing back to like that, what we were talking about with a battle league. When we had that league, the growth, we did it over 3 months, but the growth was so night and day. It was so much, the progress. The kids made so much progress in 3 months. It felt like a year's worth of progress. Just from being able to go back to back to back to back with their battles, the activity really, really paid off for them, right? And on top of the actual training that we put in between each battle, like we were able to go through critique, and we're able to show them from our perspective what they could do to improve. And like then they were able to put it into action immediately within the class, and like the progress, like I said, within 3 months, it feels like a year's worth of progress if you were to watch where they were from the first battle to where you watch where they were in the 6th battle. It's outrageous, man. Like a real dancer that's at that level, whatever they imagine that to look like is achievable. You know what I mean? Like I want that for the kids,
For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Also, feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Beyond the Cypher. Let us know how we're doing in the comment section. And to make sure you don't miss anything from the channel, smash that notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace. Until the next episode.